Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to be looking at 8 different inseparable phrasal verbs, and we're going to be looking at the definitions as well as a couple of examples with each one. Now, as always, if you enjoy this video or if you find this video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and maybe even hitting that notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Now, this is actually the third video in a series. A couple of months ago, I released a video where I talk about the difference between separable and inseparable phrasal verbs. And then a couple of weeks ago, I released a video where we just saw a few more examples of separable phrasal verbs. So maybe consider watching those videos first, but actually I think this is the easiest video or the easiest topic so far. Like the name implies, inseparable phrasal verbs cannot be separated. That means that the direct object goes after the phrasal verb, after the 2 or 3 words in the phrasal verb. It doesn't matter if the direct object is a noun or a pronoun, it always goes after. That means that it makes it a little bit less complicated. There are no exceptions or there are no tricky rules to remember, and we can just focus on the definitions. So the first verb that we're going to be looking at is the verb take after. Now, to take after someone means to resemble someone either physically or in terms of your personality. And when we say someone, we're talking about an older person in your family, usually. So for example, everyone says, I take after my dad, but I don't think I take after him. So I am saying that I don't think I look like him. Notice again how the direct object is after the verb. Take after my dad, take after him. The verb is never separated by the direct object with inseparable phrasal verbs. The second verb is to look after something or someone, and it means to take care of something. So for example, in an airport, you might say to your friend, can you look after my bags while I go to the store? Or when I was a teenager, I sometimes looked after my younger brother. Number 3, to look up to someone. It means to admire someone greatly. So for example, I really look up to my mom. She's an incredible person. Number 4, to cut down on something, and it means to reduce your use or consumption of something. So for example, my doctor said I should cut down on sugar. Many psychologists suggest cutting down on social media use can actually make a person happier. Number 5, to look forward to something. It means to be excited about a future event. So for example, I'm really looking forward to the new James Bond movie. Are you looking forward to the end of this pandemic? Number 6, to stick to something. It means to continue with a plan, even if it's difficult. So for example, starting an exercise routine can be difficult at first, but it gets easier if you stick to it. Number 7, to get along with someone, and it means to have a good relationship with the person. So for example, I love my job, mostly because I get along with everyone at work. Do you get along with everyone in your family? And finally, number 8, to run into someone. It means to encounter or meet someone when you are not expecting to, so by coincidence or chance. So for example, I hadn't seen Bob in almost 2 years, but I ran into him at the supermarket yesterday. I live in a small town, so I always run into someone I know when I go out. And basically, these are the 8 phrasal verbs. Now, remember that phrasal verbs are very common in the English language, so they are necessary. It is necessary for you to understand them if you want to communicate fluently with native speakers. And so my recommendation would be to practice them, incorporate them into your conversations, write a few sentences in your notebook with these 8 phrasal verbs that we just saw. If you want, write a few examples with the phrasal verbs in the comment section, and I will let you know if you are using them correctly.